புவனா, அந்த பின்னாடி இருக்கிற லைட் ஆஃப் பண்ணலாமா இருக்கட்டுமா? Broadway is the name of the road in Chennai, in which where College of Fine Arts started in 1850. So when we had the conversation about keeping a name, when I proposed the name Broadway, each and every participant of this show accepted it because of the current scenario. It is because in this time of pandemic, connecting artists who lives apart, joining us for an exhibition and using the social media platform to show our works indeed is a great opportunity, and I think we are setting an example for many other artists to follow. So before I hand it over to Shinod, I would like to say a few words about Scaffold. Shinod will be briefing on. So, Shinod started Scaffold in 2011 as a Facebook profile, and the story is we are here in 2020, exactly after around 10 years. This page is organizing an live exhibition, and I'm so much happy about that it has happened. So thank you again. I am passing it on to Shinod to talk about Scaffold.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Suchit. You hear me? Yeah, thank you, Saju, part of our show. And thank you all of our participant artists. Marcia from US, Len from Scotland, Vasu from US, UK, Tamara from Sweden, and Vijay Chennai, Samir. Samir,
thank you.
Bangalore. Chennai in Chennai, Kiran from Bangalore. And thank you all our Facebook friends and all watching this video and online show. I know this is a very tough time to talk to you all also, pandemic time. And Scaffold, actually, we started in 2011. Hello? Yeah,
we could hear you.
Okay. Yeah, yes. Scaffold, we started in 2011. And me and Suchit. And we had a lot of discussion about art and cultural things. And 2014, we started a show with Vijay Pichmani. And we had a show in Legal Academy, Chennai, and other city also, and Bangalore and other place. And this is very good time to meet an international artist also, and it is very nice to do a show. Especially this, that's pandemic time is very critical to do a show. Everybody know that, but the Scaffold is taking care of the show. It's very success will go. And thank you all of our Facebook and Instagram friends. Please watch our live program. And thank you to Saju, please.
Thanks, Srinod, Sujit, other friends. This is a wonderful opportunity because after almost 4 months inside home, and of course we are working from home, but at the same time trapped inside. Today morning, I called a senior artist who's based in Chennai. I was talking to him, he told me one thing. I am not able to paint. I experience a kind of, I feel like wartime, something like that. It's totally destroyed, and I'm completely disappointed with the situation, the time. I told him, okay, we are all having the same thing. But a senior artist like him, he's saying he's not able to pay it. And this is where the significance of Scaffold, that these young guys, they started some time back. You guys are giving space to people from across the world. Like, the wonderful selection you made. Right? Sujit, you're always good at doing this selection. Your selection always, speaks for itself. Great selection you always have it. So very grateful to be part of this group, at least to talk and share something with you guys. I was going through most of the artists' work today. Some of them I know, Shinod, Pichumani, Sujit, Vasundhara, or some people, I have seen. But some people I don't know, but I have seen some of their website, and you having very, very good website, some Lynn and all maintain. So it's very interesting. Let me tell you briefly something about, that. Just I read something yesterday to say something, okay, which is relevant today, to this time. See, the past, I mean, it's a Losa statement, right? Culture was a kind of vital consciousness that constantly revived everyday reality. Now, it is a distraction of the entertainment. So it's completely lost in that way. This is what Losa said some time back. Today, another thing, the Society of Spectacle by Guy Debord is a French philosopher. He traces the development of a modern society in which authoritative social life has been replaced with its representations. All that once directly lived has become mere representations. This is where the consumerism steps in. All that once directly lived has become mere representations. The history of social life can be termed as the decline of being into having, and having into merely appearing. Debord says this condition is the historical moment at which the commodity completes its colonization of social life. That's the part of that. A liberal democracy has overtaken by spectacle. And that's what we are all in. It is a problem not only, it is happening everywhere, and most of them are suffering. Artists, writers, all are having this problem. But art always suffered such things, not only the first time, every time. The ivory figurine of a lion man, which is 32,000 years old, found in Stendhal Cave. This is actually Yuval Harari's book. He mentions his sapiens. In this thing, the body is human, but the head is leonine. This is one of the first indisputable examples of art and probably of religion. And another interesting thing is, this is the ability of a human mind to imagine things that do not really exist. So the art happens. This is experiments happening for a long time. This is not. We have faced, the artists faced challenges. This all they have overcome these things in the past. Anyway, let me come back to the thing. First of all, I saw this Janardhan Rudramurti, inspired by the human body, and he sees it as a nest for the soul. Very interesting. I have seen his work, some of his works. He does iron and stainless steel sculptures also. Something came to my mind, Naqvi Mahfouz, he's a Nobel Prize winning writer. He said something, the function of art is to lift the soul up into heavens of beauty, to the psychic forces of the individual and those of the wider group together in one consciousness, to insert the individuality of the human being to a universal oneness comprising the depths of the earth and the strats of the heavens. This is what he said. the artist will not be accomplishing his task fully unless he creates a connection between his soul, science, and philosophy. So I welcome Janardhan Krishnamurthy, Janardhan Damamurthy. Over to you. Rudramurthy. Over to you.
Thank you so much.
Over to you. This is what he said. Yeah. You can start. Yeah, you can talk about it. Yeah. Unless Janardhan, you can go.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, என்னோட பேர் ஜனார்த்தன்.
Okay.
சென்னை பேஸ்டு ஆர்டிஸ்ட்.
Right.
ஐ கம்ப்ளீட்டட் வந்து மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பெயிண்டிங் வந்து சென்னை கவர்மெண்ட் காலேஜ் ஆஃப் ஃபைன் ஆர்ட்ல வந்து கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணேன். ஆக்சுவலாக இந்த ஸ்கஃபோல்ட் டீம் கூட ஒர்க் பண்ணது வந்து ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணேன். சுஜித் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா என்னோட கிளாஸ்மேட். அவன் வந்து இந்த ஷோவில் என்ன பியூட்டின்னா ஆர்டிஸ்ட்டு வந்து க்யூரேட் பண்ணுறாரு. ஆக்சுவலாக ஆர்டிஸ்ட்டுக்கு தான் வந்து மற்ற கோ ஆர்டிஸ்டோட வந்து ரொம்ப க்ளோஸ் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் இருக்கும். அது மாதிரி வந்து சுஜித் என்ன கேட்கும் போது நான் ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக ஃபீல் பண்ணேன். ஏன்னா சுஜித் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எல்லா மேக்ஸிமம் இங்கே இருக்கிற ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் சர்க்கிள் எல்லா ஆர்டிஸ்ட்டும் வந்து கூட இருந்து அவங்களோட ஒர்க்ஸை வந்து பார்த்துருக்காரு. ஏன்னா அவர் வந்து கம்யூனிட்டி ஸ்டுடியோவில் நாங்கள் சென்னை லலித் கலா அகாடமி ஒரு ஸ்பேஸ் இருக்குது, அங்கே வந்து நாங்கள் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம். அப்போ பார்க்கும்போது எல்லாமே ஷேரிங் இருக்கும். என்னோட தாட் ப்ராசஸ் வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணுவோம். அது மாதிரி கூட இருக்கிற எல்லா ஆர்டிஸ்டோட வந்து டிஸ்கஷன் நடக்கும். அப்போ பார்க்கும்போது சுஜித் வந்து க்யூரேட் பண்ணுற இந்த ஷோவில் பார்க்கும்போது ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக இருந்தது. ஏன்னா ஒரு க்யூரேட்டர் வந்து ஆர்டிஸ்டோட டெப்த்து தெரிஞ்சாதான் அது இன்னும் நல்லா சிறப்பாக பண்ண முடியும் நான் வந்து ஃபீல் பண்ணேன். அதே மாதிரி இந்த ஸ்கஃபோல்ட் டீம் கூட வந்து நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணேன். இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நிறைய 2-3 ஷோ பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஷோ பார்த்துருக்கேன். சினோஜ் எல்லாமே விஜய் எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அது பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக ஃபீல் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். அந்த டைமில் வந்து ஒர்க் வந்து ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருந்தது. அப்போ வந்து இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து என்னை இன்வைட் பண்ணும்போது ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக வந்து நான் பண்ணலாம் சுஜித் அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன். ஏன்னா அவர் வந்து என்னோட ஒர்க் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவன் கிட்ட இருந்து ரொம்ப டீப்பாக பார்த்துருக்கான். அதனால வந்து என்னோட ஐடியாலஜியும் நான் என்ன பண்ணுறேன்ட்டு அவனுக்கு தான் வந்து க்யூரேட்டர். வெளி சைட்லேருந்து க்யூரேட் பண்ணுறவங்க வந்து அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வந்து ஜென்ரலாக வந்து ஓவராலாக வந்து டிஸ்கஷன் இருக்கும். ப்ளஸ் வந்து நான் என்ன ப்ராக்டிக்கலாக வந்து ஆர்ட் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுறதுன்னு அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது, நம்ம சொன்னாலும் புரியாது. ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து எப்படி நம்ம மீடியம் எப்படி நான் ஸ்கூல் காலேஜ் டேஸ்லேருந்து அவன் கிட்ட இருந்து பார்க்குறனால அவருக்கு வந்து நல்லா அந்த டெப்த்து தெரியும். நான் எப்படி சேஞ்சஸ் ஆனேன் அதுவும் வந்து அவருக்கு ரொம்ப தெரியும். அதனால் இந்த ஷோவில் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ண ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணேன். அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் இந்த சுச்சுவேஷனில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப பேண்டமிக் சுச்சுவேஷனில் வந்து நம்ம வந்து கேலரியில் வந்து எக்ஸிபிட் பண்ண முடியாது. அந்த டைமில் இருக்கும்போது இந்த டைம் வந்து அவன் வந்து அவர் வந்து வேற மாதிரி யோசிச்சு இது மாதிரி ஆன்லைன் ஷோ பண்ணலாம், நம்மளே வந்து டீம் ஃபார்ம் பண்ணி பண்ணலாம், அது மாதிரி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணும்போது ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணேன். அது மாதிரி இன்னும் நான் ஆல்ரெடி அவங்க 3 ஆர்டிஸ்ட் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. இப்போ வந்து இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் லெவலில் நம்ம பண்ணலாம். இது வந்து ஆன்லைன் வந்து நம்ம எப்படி அட்வான்டேஜா எடுத்திருக்குது. இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த சுச்சுவேஷன் வந்து கேலரியில நம்ம டிஸ்பிளே பண்ண முடியாது. அப்படி பார்க்கும்போது இந்த நம்ம என்னதான் நம்ம வாழ்க்கையில சுச்சுவேஷன் என்னன்னா அதை வந்து எப்படி பாசிட்டிவா அப்ரோச் பண்ணலாம், அந்த ஐடியா வந்து எனக்கு சுஜித் கிட்ட ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். அதை எப்படி கொண்டு போறது அது வந்து ரொம்ப டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணும்போது ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியா இருந்தது. அதை வந்து இந்த சுச்சுவேஷன்ல வந்து அவர் வந்து இப்போ ஆன்லைன்ல வந்து அதை கொண்டு போற விஷயம் வந்து ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியா இருந்தது. அது மட்டும் இல்லாம இந்த ஹோல் டீமும் வந்து எனக்கு மேக்ஸிமம் தெரியும். சமீர் தெரியும், கிரண் ஆல்சோ மை கிளாஸ்மேட். சமீர் வந்து அவரும் வந்து அகாடமியில் வந்து ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணும்போது சமீரும் ரொம்ப க்ளோஸ். சினோஜ் மற்ற ஆர்டிஸ்ட் வந்து இப்போதான் எனக்கு ரொம்ப இந்த ஷோ மூலிமா வந்து பழக்கம். அதனால வந்து இந்த ஷோ வந்து பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணது ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக இருந்தேன். இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா என்னோட கரண்ட் ஆக்சுவலாக நான் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பெயிண்டிங் தான் கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணேன். நான் மாஸ்டர்ஸ் வந்து நான் காலேஜில் வந்து பெயிண்டிங் தான் கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணேன். அட் ப்ரெசன்ட் 10 இயர்ஸாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ வேற மீடியம் வந்து ஹேண்டில் பண்ண ஆரம்பித்தேன். ஆக்சுவலாக இது எப்படி இந்த ஐடியா வந்ததுன்னா எனக்கு அகாடமிக் ஸ்டடீஸ் வந்து நிறைய லேண்ட்ஸ்கேப் நேச்சர்ஸ் வந்து பார்த்து ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தேன். ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து இது என்னோட சேஞ்சஸ் வந்து ஸ்லோவாக தான் மாறிச்சு. அந்த ப்ராசஸ் வந்து மாறிட்டே வந்தது. அது அப்புறம் அது எதனால் மாறிச்சுன்னா நான் லலித் கலா அகாடமி வந்து கம்யூனிட்டி ஸ்பேஸில் வந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். அப்போ பார்க்கும்போது கோ ஆர்டிஸ்ட் வந்து நிறைய பேர் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. எனக்கு அப்போ தான் வந்து இந்த நாலேஜே வந்து கொஞ்சம் எனக்கு என்னோட தாட் ப்ராசஸ்க்கு வந்து ஒரு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. நம்ம வந்து மீடியம் வந்து ஒரு மேட்ரா இல்லை. பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வந்து மீடியம் வந்து ஒரு டூல். அது வந்து நம்ம ஐடியாலஜி வந்து நம்ம எந்த மீடியம் வந்து கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இருக்கோ அந்த மீடியமில் வந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணுறது வந்து கன்வே பண்ணணும். நம்ம மெசேஜ் வந்து நம்ம தாட் ப்ராசஸ் வந்து வெளியே சொல்லணும். அது வந்து எப்படி ஏஸ்தட்டிக்காகவும் சொல்லணும், ப்ளஸ் வந்து நம்ம மெட்டீரியல் நம்ம இருக்கிற பிளேஸில் என்ன அவைலபிலிட்டி இருக்கோ அதை வச்சு பண்ணணும்ன்ட்டு எனக்கு லேட்டராக வந்து கூட வந்து கோ ஆர்டிஸ்ட் வந்து அவங்க பார்க்கும்போது அவங்களோட அட்மையர் வந்து ரொம்ப அவங்களும் வந்து நிறைய எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்டலாக ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. அந்த ஒர்க்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது அதோட இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன் அட்மையர் அது மாதிரி வந்து ரொம்ப அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். அப்புறம் என்னோட ஸ்டைல் வந்து அப்போது கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக சேஞ்ச் ஆகிடுச்சு. அப்போ வந்து நான் இருக்கிற பிளேஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 51 இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் சர்க்கிள். அந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் பிளேஸ் வந்து அந்த மெட்டீரியல் வந்து எனக்கு அவைலபிலிட்டி வந்து ஈஸியாக கிடச்சிது. இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் பிளேஸ்னால அந்த கமர்ஷியல் அந்த ப்ராடக்ட் அந்த மெட்டீரியல் அயன் பிளேட் அது மாதிரிலாம் அது இருக்கும்போது என்னோட ஐடியாஸ் வந்து ஆல்ரெடி வந்து நான் நெஸ்ட்டுன்ட்டு ஒரு கான்செப்டில் தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். நேச்சரில் வந்து என்னென்ன பார்க்குறோமோ அந்த விஷயத்த வந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். லேட்டராக வந்து நம்ம லேட்டராக வந்து என்ன பார்த்தீங்கன்னா என்னோட பாடியை வந்து நான் அனலைஸ் பண்ணும்போது நம்ம பாடியை ஏன் நெஸ்ட்டு சொல்லக்கூடாது அது வந்து என்னோட யோசனையில் வந்தது. ஏன்னா ஒரு பொருள் ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து லிவிங் கிரியேச்சர்ஸ் இயற்கையான ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து ஒரு தங்குற ஒரு இடத்த வந்து நம்ம நெஸ்ட்டுன்ட்டு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். அந்த நெஸ்ட்டு சொல்லும் போது நம்ம பாடியே வந்து பார்க்க போனால் நம்மளுக்குள்ள ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து ஒரு ஸ்டே ஆகுற ஒரு விஷயத்த வந்து நெஸ்ட்டு நம்ம சொல்லலாம். அது மாதிரி தாட் ப்ராசஸ் வந்து எனக்கு யோசிக்கும் போது நம்ம இன்னர் ஸ்பேஸ் வந்து தெர் இஸ் சம்திங் சோல் ஸ்பிரிட் ஏதோ ஒரு விஷயம் நம்ம உள்ள இருக்கு. அந்த விஷயம் வந்து ஸ்டே ஆகுற விஷயத்த வந்து நான் நெஸ்ட்டுன்ட்டு அந்த சீரியஸ் ஆஃப் ஒர்க் வந்து பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். அதே அந்த பாடி ஆஃப் ஒர்க் வந்து அதுலயே நிறைய எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட்டாக ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும் போது நம்ம இன்னர் பாடியை வந்து அப்சர்வ் பண்ணி அந்த ஸ்பேஸ் வந்து நம்ம எப்படி ஒர்க்கை வந்து அந்த ஏஸ்தட்டிக் கொண்டு வரலாம், நம்ம பாடி ஃபார்ம் வந்து ஃப்ளெக்சிபிலிட்டி வந்து எப்படி கொண்டு வரலாம் அது மாதிரி ட்ரை பண்ணும்போது நிறைய ஃபார்ம் வந்து கிரியேட் பண்ணோம். ஆல்மோஸ்ட் வந்து சேம் தாட் ப்ராசஸ் தான் இருக்கு என்னோட ஒர்க்ஸ். பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த ஒர்க்ஸில் வந்து அந்த டெவலப்மெண்ட் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக சேஞ்சஸ். என்ன சடனாக டக்குன்னு ஒரு இதுக்கு போக முடியாது. என்னோட ஐடியாஸ் வந்து ஒரு இது பண்ணால் அது ஃபைன் டியூன் எப்படி பண்ணலாம் அந்த தாட் ப்ராசஸ் வந்து மாறிட்டே இருக்கும்போது அது சேஞ்சஸ் நடக்கும். அது நடக்கும்போது அது பண்ணும்போது தான் அந்த இன்னும் ஏஸ்தட்டிக் வந்து என்னால் அந்த மெட்டீரியல் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணுறதும் ப்ளஸ் அந்த ஐடியாவை ஃபைன் டியூன் பண்ணுறதும் வந்து கொஞ்சம் டெவலப் ஆச்சு. நான் நினைக்கிறேன். அது வந்து பார்க்கும்போது அந்த பாடியை வந்து எப்படிலாம் நம்ம ஃபார்ம் இருக்கு, அந்த ஃப்ளெக்சிபிலிட்டி எப்படிலாம் நம்ம கொண்டு வரலாம் அது மாதிரி ட்ரை பண்ணி ப்ராக்டிஸ் வந்து எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட்லாம் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். அந்த ஒர்க்கை தான் உங்ககிட்ட 2 ஒர்க் வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். அந்த ஒர்க்கை நீங்க பாருங்க, பார்த்துட்டு கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க. மறுபடியும் சொல்றேன், இந்த ஸ்கஃபோல்ட் டீம் கூட சேர்ந்து ஒர்க் பண்றது வந்து நான் ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியா ஃபீல் பண்றேன். என்னை வந்து இந்த ஷோல சுஜித் கியூரேட் பண்ணி என்ன சேர்த்து ரொம்ப நன்றி. தேங்க்ஸ் சொன்னாலும் அவர் திட்டுவாரு எதுக்கு ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ்குள்ள அப்படின்ட்டு. அதனால ரொம்ப ஹாப்பி. ஐம் பார்ட் ஆஃப் திஸ் ஷோ அண்ட் அதர் ஆர்டிஸ்ட் ஆல்சோ ஐ எம் வெரி தேங்க்ஃபுல். Thank you so much. I'm part of this show.
Anyway, thanks, Rudramurthy. Insightful. You said
Thank
it.
You, sir. Thank you.
Anyway, next we'll go to Kiran Tulasi. Kiran, there is something called, is photography art? It's a very, very old question asked in the 19th century. Today, nobody will ask this question. Is photography art? Many artists have redefined art. Many of the artists using as a medium, they use it and they're trying to redefine art. Over to Kiran Tulasi.
Hi, I'm Kiran. You could say I have a passion for capturing moment in time, particularly around 35 mm photography and film development. Right. I've been associated with the College of Fine Arts, Chennai since 2004, and I have known Sujit for a long. So it was in college that I was exposed to a whole new perspective of life, seeing art in various forms and capturing them on various mediums. The heritage-infused city of Chennai also provide conductive conceived to field I have chosen. My art that on exhibition today is about the Vedic concept of Turiya. Turiya has been a long sort of state of being. It's an ultimate recognition of the self. My art aims to represent a perspective, my perspective about the elusive reality.
Yes.
To believe, to briefing explain this painting, I did like to highlight some elements about it. The whole painting is a prologue, layer by layer work that spans one's journey of actualization. Actually, so that's all about my work.
Okay. Okay, nice. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now we'll go back to Len Bennett McGinsey. So I saw her website today. There was my upbringing and life in the rural Scottish Highlands have given me a perception on the landscape and the living, working, and evolving environment. She used a variety of media, drawing, photocopying, and found materials in her work. There is something what I noticed it's very interesting. Right in family, she held a left hand capped with 5 flowers, in the fingers. A beautifully experimented that work. And going through her work is like a lot of course, what she's meant, like a lot of rural elements, like we all see cat, we all see fish, all the things are available and we see. But there is a rural color, rural set that's reflected in most of her works. She's drawing the energy from her rural root. I think that's very great part of her work. I don't know how I missed her paintings because going from one to the other, it's very vibrant and I have a special passion for all these things. Over to you, Lynn.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, I was brought up in a very rural background.
Right.
Places. We lived many miles from other people, and my sister and I didn't have children staying nearby to play with. So we were quite self-sufficient, and I think it gives you a kind of different perception of place. So yes, I like to. It definitely influences my work. The place I live now is it's in the northwest coast of Scotland, in the Highlands, and it's a tourist area. So in the winter, it's very quiet, and the weather can be very stormy and sometimes quite difficult. But it brings its own kind of atmosphere and feeling. And then in the summer, everything is very to come in, and you're working, and I don't actually get so much time to work usually in summer. But with the sort of pandemic that's been going on, they weren't here for months, so it was actually it was quite special in a way to be able to enjoy the area without the usual kind of hustle and bustle. Everything was quiet. You could hear the birds, see the wildlife, and yeah, I just take influence from everything around me and what happens in my life, my work sometimes when I don't expect.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. A storm in a teacup. The work I saw. It's quite interesting. Can you tell me a little about it? It's something which yeah.
I trained in painting and drawing at art school at Aberdeen, and I didn't really have a direction when I was studying. So I struggled a little bit for the first couple of years. And then a tutor said to me, he says, you know, instead of trying to do what you think we want you to do, you should draw what's in your head.
Okay.
So a lot of my earlier drawings, and Storm in a Cup is one of those beginning drawing, are, I would say, sort of quirky, slightly whimsical drawings that just take elements from it and mix them up a little bit. Yeah. If you see there's a storm in a teacup, it's like making something out of nothing. So I think, you know, that's where that drawing comes, putting a kind of humorous element to it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now from Scottish Highlands, we'll go to New York by Marcia Nobles. And very interesting, the drawing and printmaking and painting on woodcuts and drawings, that she's popular. For her, teaching is a collaborative experience between the teacher and the student. Together, we discover. What an interesting concept, you know, it's very interesting. Together, we discover. Wonderful. Over to you, Marcia.
Thank you, Saju. And I just want to say it's very nice to be here. I want to thank Sujit and Shinod for this opportunity at this time during a pandemic. As you said, it brings us together. So, Vanakkam, I'm very excited to be here. I'll just answer about my connection to Chennai and the school, and then get to the idea of collaborative experiences and that energy. My connection to the Chennai and the Government College of Fine Arts goes back to 2007, when I was a visiting professor in woodcut and life drawing there. And I had the opportunity to teach those students, many of them, and interact with many of the faculty there. Since then, I've stayed in touch with the faculty and students and seen many of the students gone on to become very professional, outstanding artists. And so the energy I derive from teaching internationally and in Chennai specifically does influence my work. It's a give and take. The more you give to your classroom and your students, the more you get back. It's just the idea of giving. But also sharing a skill such as wood carving and the detail and cross-hatching and the subtractive process of making a wood piece and then printing it. It's something that you don't want to keep to yourself. It's so exciting to share that. So the two works here that are being shared, the one on the left is from 2014, and that's beets, and that's the wood block over there in India ink, and mostly carved out, but not yet printed, because I like the wood as much as the prints. On the right side is from current times, 2020, March, when the virus was declared a pandemic, and I was in absolute shock. I didn't know what to think. And I needed to do these drawings, which are sgraffito scratchboard drawings, just to understand and come to grips with what we're in, not even knowing how long this is going to last. So I found it necessary to break away from my usual working subject matter and really work directly with the virus and its implications. So when I'm teaching, I encourage students to look at their environment, look at global events, and to respond to that, because we aren't in a bubble. We are very connected, as this virus has shown us. We're connected. But now the internet has brought us together in ways that Scaffold is doing too, and I feel so grateful for that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Samir Rao, Bangalore-based artist. And there is another Samir Rao, I think, a flutist. He is the disciple of Chaurasia, I think.
But so, he's more popular than me.
Ah, that's so. Again, popularity depends, you know, like, okay. But, okay, Samir, woodblock prints and all. Okay, please, over to you.
Yeah, before I talk about my works, I think there are a few things that we already discussed about the situation We discussed about coming up with this exhibition, the Chennai connection, everything. I was not a student of Government College of Arts, but I have an indirect connection. I was working as a scholar in Lalit Kala Academy for 1 year, and that's how I came to know about all these artists for participating in this exhibition, apart from the overseas artists. But it's great to have a one-to-one conversation with all the artists, even on the Zoom video call, as well as Facebook and multiple platforms. So in a time like this, to come up with such an online exhibition to host in multiple internet platforms is also one of the great things that I look forward to. And also it is more exciting to know that your exhibition is on 24/7. And that's very unusual for any gallery or any museum or any other exhibition platform. So I think the credit has to go to Sujit, Shinod, and Scaffold. And also I would like to thank for including me in the exhibition. And I think, when it comes to my work, I've been working with woodcuts from almost like 6-7 years. And my work speaks about the complexity of a concept which is around us. In my opinion, I do not think that any concept is a concept of its own or an individual concept which can be easily comprehended just by looking at a single perspective or one or two dimensions of the concept. So something which is connected with secondary concepts, as well as every concept has multiple dimensions and it has its own complexities. So there was a time I started reflecting upon all this, but I think rather than addressing them directly, I would like to say that I want to reflect on the concept on its own, rather than just being sort of illustrative about a particular concept. So that's how my practice was on for a while. And then I came up with this idea of making a video, because I was making some videos before, and I was into video making, and I was into Photoshop and everything. But ever since I started making printmaking, I was not much into video. So I thought it can be an interesting platform to experiment with the video as well, given the situation that we are in. And probably we are also looking at some of the psychological issues that we may have to deal with regarding the situation in future. May not be now, but I think like you said, you had very interesting points to share in the initial video conference. You spoke about fighting spirit, and you spoke about how artists they come up with their own ideas to overcome their situation, overcome the possibilities of their limitation and everything. So I think it kind of reflects in everybody's work, and it is great to have such an exhibition at a time when probably even creating something can be a big issue, because everybody are kind of stuck with this pandemic, and maybe we are not in so much of peace and so much of luxury to think that we may not have to create artwork. So I think it is very interesting that all the artists have responded to the situation and also come up with a beautiful exhibition like this one. Yeah, thank you.
Next, I will go to Shinod Akaraparam. He is the man behind this Scaffold. If I talk, about Shinod, he's my colleague. So I don't want to talk too much about him. There is nothing much, there are a lot to talk about him. He comes up with ideas, and he will work in a way, he will keep it inside and work silently. I don't even know what he's working on. So that's the way last time, I think, the dog series he did, which was a kind of a revolution in itself, he came up with a lot of fun. He spent a lot of money, and he knows that, these all works are not going to be sold. So what he did, he spent a lot of money, framed it, and still he kept it, it's there. It's more than 100 or 150 kind of frames. So Shinod trying to reinvent, art using his whatever things he's having around. That's Of course, he's an illustrator of a mainstream newspaper. That's in a way, okay, you get money, you get paid, all fine. But at the same time, as an artist, it is restricting your movements. A kind of restriction is there. but he's surpassing it. He's trying to manage it in his own terms. And that's what Shinod, that's what is all his works about. Over to Shinod.
Thank you, Saju.
Yeah.
Yeah, I studied from Universal School of Arts in Kerala, 1995. Then I went to Delhi, and I met a lot of artists, and I studied a lot. And then I came back in Chennai, 2008, and started my work. Most of my work related to microorganism and other very micro level things, and I studied a lot. And doing here I submitted 2 paintings that called Visible and Invisible. You can see in our website. And this I made in watercolor on canvas, which made most of the recent my experiment from watercolor on canvas. This is you can see in our website, and yeah, you can see. Thank you so much.
Okay, good luck. Okay, now Sujit. Sujit is not only an artist; he's a wonderful curator. And not all artists, most of them think, if they are artists, they can be curators. But curator is, of course, a different media. And I have seen many people fail, not getting on the right track. This Sujit is in that way. He organized a show some time back, which evoked tremendous response in the city, and mainly his selection from different fields. I see now these 10 artists from different parts of the world. Over to you, Sujit.
Hello, everyone. So thank you for being here today. I wish I could talk in Tamil, but considering the large scale of audience from different part of the country and also overseas, I would like to continue in English itself. So first of all, before I share my works, I would take this opportunity to talk about my curatorial project actually. So in that, I should first of all thank my elder brother Sunil Kumar, who is also an artist. So he's the one who made me to write for his works and like captions, titling, and everything. That's where I started writing, and I'm still learning, but I think I have become a better writer over the last 13 years. So my brother Sunil is always encouraging and supporting, and then my younger brother Chinju, and then my wife, who has been my friend for 13 years, and now she's my wife. And then coming on to the community studio, where I have to mention a lot of names, but few names are just popping up, so I'll tell those names now. Kumareshan is one who, from the beginning, encouraged me to write. He's a known artist all over the country now, so he makes me write. He does the correction. He go approach someone and make me do it again. So he has been always there. Then Anish, and of course Kiran, Janarthanan, and Vijay all are part of this exhibition already. So they also used to seek help in writing their statements and write. And at one point of time, and also I wanted to say 2 other names, Ramachandran and Anamika. So they also, whenever I have a discussion with them, when I talk about all these stuffs, they also encourage me. And then Ganesh and a lot of names. So I'm sorry if I haven't mentioned anyone's name. So then Shinod, I met him in 2011 or 12, and then probably I started having conversations, and then we had exhibition. And he always kept me persuading to curate actually. So he has big dreams for Scaffold, of course, and his enthusiasm is unstoppable actually. So all thanks to Shinod for this exhibition, to providing a platform which he has built up. Of course, I was there a bit, but he is the one who built up this. And I don't know what else I would say about, but probably I will show my work so that I can talk a few words about my works too. So these are the two works which I did in 2007. This was the first exhibition I have done outside of the college. Actually, this exhibition happened in my final year of college. So again, coincidences. Janardhan was part of this exhibition. Kiran was part of this exhibition. So these works are beyond visible. That is the idea behind looking into the microcosm of a work, or like looking into objects at a far away distance. So this is an idea which I worked out with pointillism. Of course, the artist I am inspired to at this point of time is Paul Sire. And the second work is inspired from jute, actually, jute cloth, which we used to hung in our home as a screen, actually. So this is inspired from that. And always I have this contradiction of which is bringing which color to the front. I don't say color, either white or black, actually. So it is always there in these thoughts. So either the darkness is bringing the brightness, or brightness is bringing the darkness out. So this work, one by one, white on black, black on white, is just out of that. And my visual inspiration always needs a lot of philosophical and readings, and probably I discuss those ideas with my brother again. And that's after all those clarifications, I start to work. I do not get into work as soon as I get an idea and I start working. Always I get an idea, then I synthesize it, I read, I go for a philosophical search behind it, and then do it. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Well done, good presentation. Anyway, now we'll see Tamara D. Love. Tamara D. Love.
So,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, Tamara. Before going to Tamara, I just want to say something about Deleuze, one of the key figures of post-structuralism, has demonstrated what it means to think and create. Tamara is influenced by Deleuze and Guattari, patriarchal system of women's independence and control over the bodies. Good. I have seen some of her works, one or two, I think. Like to see more. Tamara, you may please go ahead. Tamara, hello. Tamara?
I think we lost her.
We lost. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So we'll move to Vasuntara Shankari. Vasuntara?
Tamara, okay. I think just needs to unmute herself.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, she's present.
Oh, she's present. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I will unmute. So, Tamara, hello? Can you hear us? Yes, good. Yeah.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, sure.
Tamara, please go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I can't go ahead. I'm not that kind of person who can go ahead.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't.
No problem.
Have very hard to speak about my work. I can reply to questions, but I have difficult to speak.
Right.
Officially, like.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
So, yeah, the works which you see on the screen are her work, actually. So those are the two works she has given for the exhibition. So they are on tracing films, the Garber films. So both are done in the year 2020. So the viewers will find the works in the website and they can definitely watch it. And towards the end, definitely, if you have any questions, let us know. We will talk with Tamara. Thank you.
Fine. So,
yes, Shaju.
Vasuntara Shankari, born in Coimbatore, brought up in Chennai, and now lives in London. Studied architecture. So, this reminds me of a book which I read, this Lives of the Artists and Lives of the Architects. This is by Hans Ulrich Obrist. I think you are having it, Sujit. I can see your shelf. I think you are keeping that book.
Sorry?
And this book, you are having it, right?
Yeah.
I can see that. Anyway, this Vasuntara's, the connection between, as an artist and an art and architect, so most of her works. So please go ahead. Yeah, Vasuntara.
Thank you, Mr. Shaju. Good evening, everyone. I'm Vasundhara. So as mentioned, I'm from Chennai and I currently live and work in London. I'm delighted to be a part of this online show, which reconsiders how we come together as artists, show our work, and be seen as well as heard. The highlight for me is the opportunity to reconnect with artists back home, as well as form new friendships with artists in different parts of the world, especially through Sujit's network. What I find interesting is that although it's an online exhibition, it's a particular place and a city that has brought us together. So this, I think, is quite important because in a world that is meant to be flat and through the online platform, we tend to dissolve borders. I still think it's really important to have institutions that support the coming together of artists, as well as friendships and the importance of friendships and our personal connections in promoting our practices, as well as to rethink new formats for presentation. My own work is inspired by the bright, colorful houses in South India, something I had the opportunity to research in depth through a road trip that I did in December with my family. So I had the opportunity to photograph these houses. And from that, I've been developing abstract paintings, which you can see on my background, as well as the website. And it sort of sits between painting and architecture. So I'm interested in an abstraction and how it's possible to create something that's abstract, but still refers to something in the world. So here there are extracts of motifs, which I have created facsimiles or replicas of. Again, color is very important for me, and as well as regional specificity. But the history of architecture is also very interesting here because one could say this looks like Memphis postmodern design or Art Deco architecture. But in reality, these are forms that are being created by maestries and builders without any consultation to a style guide or the history of architecture or minimalist painting for that matter. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And I'd like to thank Sujit as well as Scaffold for extending an invitation to artists beyond Chennai as well as women artists. I think that's very important. So thank you.
Good luck. Now, Pichumani comes up with a work every day. I think, most of he's the man who's using the wood in a, I don't know how he's, in a way, redefining wood. Every day you will see something different from Pichumani. And I don't know, the ethnic, what do we call it, So most of the time, I have written about him. And whenever I see the growth, I think, kind of from a transformation from a particular point to the other, like that is what Pichumani, a very vibrant artist. I think he's coming from a remote village and settled here. I think he was coming up with wonderful work. And Pichumani, you may please talk about your ventures. Pichumani?
Wait a minute, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe muted.
No, he's not muted, but I couldn't see him also.
Oh.
Did you lose him?
Hello.
Yeah. Pichumani?
Yes.
Pichumani. Yeah, you can talk. You can talk about it. Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Vijay Bisumani.
Yeah.
I'm BFA and MFA in finishing College of Fine Arts in Chennai. So அந்த டைம்ல வந்து நான் ஆக்சுவலி பிரிண்ட் மேக்கிங் படிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன். ஸோ பிரிண்ட் மேக்கிங் டைம்ல வந்து மார்ஷியா நெப்லட் வந்து எனக்கு ரொம்ப க்ளோஸ். அவங்க ஆக்சுவலி அந்த டைம் டீச்சிங் வந்திருந்தாங்க. ஸோ அவங்க பார்ட் ஆஃப் இந்த ஷோல இருக்கிறது வந்து பயங்கர ஹாப்பியா இருக்கு. ஸோ அங்கிருந்தா வந்து என்னோட ஒரு ஜேர்னி வந்து ஆரம்பிச்சிச்சு. ஸோ இப்போ ரீசென்ட்லி வந்து இந்த ஒர்க் பாத்தீங்கன்னா நான் லாஸ்ட் 1 இயர்ல பண்ண ஷோவோட ஒர்க்ஸ்ல வந்து 2 ஒர்க் வந்து செலக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஸோ அந்த ஒர்க் தான் வந்து நான் இப்போ எக்ஸ்பிட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன்.
ஓகே.
ஸோ அந்த எக்ஸ்பிட் ஒர்க் என்னன்னா டிராப்ஸ். ஒரு ஒர்க்ஸ் பாத்தீங்கன்னா டிராப்ஸ், இன்னொரு ஒர்க் பாத்தீங்கன்னா சேவ் த லேயர்ஸ். ஸோ இது ஒரு ஸ்டோரி. ஆக்சுவலி வந்து ஐ எம் ஸ்டேயிங் இன் சென்னை. ஸோ அந்த சென்னை ஸ்டே பண்ற அந்த பிளேஸ்ல என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஸோ அது வாட்டருக்கு அவ்வளோ ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு. ஸோ அங்க இருக்க அந்த வாட்டர் ப்ராப்ளம் சேம் ரூரல் வில்லேஜ் இந்த என்னோட ஸ்பேஸ்ல வந்து வாட்டர்ஸ் வந்து பயங்கரமா இருக்கு. ஸோ இந்த ரெண்டும் கனெக்டிவிட்டியா உள்ள ஒரு ஒர்க்ஸ் தான் வந்து ஆக்சுவலி அதுல ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஸோ அப்புறம் என்னன்னா, ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் சுஜித் அண்ட் சினோத் அண்ட் ரொம்ப லாங் டைமுக்கு அப்புறம் திரும்பவும் வந்து ஸ்கஃபோல்ட் வந்து ஆக்டிவா வந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஸோ வெரி தேங்க்ஸ்.
Okay, thanks Pichumani. Okay, let me conclude. COVID is our chance to reset the world. This is just a half an hour ago. This is Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus. He is a Bangladeshi economist. He said, COVID is our chance to reset the world. The pandemic has given the world a chance to take bold decisions to create a new order. The pandemic has given the world a chance to take bold decisions to create a new order. So, after all, let us hope for the best. Okay, over to Sujit.
Thank you, Mr. Saju, for moderating this exhibition, and it has been a pleasure to have you here today. So again, I need to thank each and every artist, my friends, Marcia, Lynn, Tamara, Vasu, and everyone, to by supporting me, by sending your works. I have been disturbing you quite for a long time now. It's more than 2 weeks now, calling up at inappropriate times and messaging you to ask for details and everything. And without each and every one of you here, this exhibition wouldn't have happened. So it's each and everyone's contribution. So thank you so much. So now I think if anyone have questions or if need any clarifications or anything, probably we can encourage that. Yes. So we have a question from Aravind. Aravind is also my friend. So hello everyone. My question is for Vasu. We very well know the background, and Vasu, could you read the question?
I can read.
Yes.
I can read.
Yes,
okay.
of course.
Okay, then probably it would be nice if you can read and answer the question.
Right.
So I'm picking up Arvind's question. We very well know the background and the theoretical framework behind Western hard-edge geometrical painting. What do you think are the frameworks behind this emulation of such geometries in Indian suburban architecture? How do you think this emulation took place? I think that's super interesting. The whole idea of emulation or copying is absolutely central to my paintings. So what I find interesting is rather than copying, I actually see it as a simultaneous happening. So I don't think that these styles came from the West and people in India are appropriating it. I wonder if actually it was the other way around. So in my research, I discovered that the founder of Memphis architecture and design, Ettore Sotsas, he traveled through Tamil Nadu and especially Pondicherry and Tiruvannamalai in the 1980s. And he has photographed outsider architecture, that is architecture that has been made without any design sort of consultation, and he has used that as inspiration for his designs. So what we think of as postmodern design, I'm now questioning if actually it came from Tamil Nadu. So that's quite exciting.
Thank you, Vasantha.
No
Thank you,
worries.
Aravind, for joining us this evening.
And if Tamara is listening to this, I would like to ask her about her experience of visiting Chennai way back in 1969, and how was her experience working with the Government College of Arts. Now, it will be quite interesting for us to know what was the experience was about, if it is possible.
I couldn't really get the question. How was my experience
with the Government College of Arts?
Yeah, in 1969, I didn't visit it. It was not until in 1994, I think.
Okay, but how was your experience working with Government College of Arts? And it will be interesting for us to know.
Yeah, as I wrote in some statement there, it reminds me of my upbringing, because I was brought up in a artist commune, and I had a lot of discussions when I was a child with artists. And then when I came to Lalit Kala and to Shulamandal Artist Village, I found the same kind of, it was easy to speak with the artists for me, more easy than the artists I meet in Sweden. I don't know why, but it was like that. I can't, it's difficult for me to explain. It was just a more direct communication that I felt.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not a good speaker.
Thank you, Tamara. You did really speak well. So
there is a question.
Yeah, we have more question. It's a question to. Oh, it's for myself. Okay.
Yours.
Yeah. So from many of your works. So the question is, from many of your works I have seen, can you tell something about the choice of your works for this show? Okay, great. So as I told earlier, this is one of my oldest work, which I did in 2007, 2008. So this was the time when I was in college, final year. So you are going to finish your academics and you are moving out of the college. And so that's a custom there in college. You are in final year. If you want to pursue a career in arts or painting, you have to keep a show. So that's when me, Kiran, and Janardhan came together, and we had two more friends, and we put up a show. So we decided the dates, and then we wanted to work, and this work happened exactly when there were a lot of criticism happening inside the college. When someone do a abstract work, they don't consider you as an artist. So as I told, the image which I have, the black and white, one-on-one black and white, one by one black and white is a return question to my critics, or I would say to the people who have asked me the question of abstract or modernism. Because when I kept it in the show, most of the audience could actually relate it, or could at least figure it out that it looks like jute. So abstractism or modernism is nothing else, but it exists in us, or it exists around us. It is just about seeing in more detail, or it's just standing far away and look at it in a different dimension. That's when abstractism or modernism comes out. So I think, Ganapati, I think I have answered your question with this. Thank you for such a great question, Ganapati.
No more questions.
So should we end the session, or shall we wait for some more time so that?
There's more.
So
there is one more question.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Janardhan.
Yes, Jayshree, I will. Is the question complete, or?
I think it's complete. It's a representation of the human form. It's a reason there. Yeah.
So, Janardhan,
I think the question is about medium.
Yeah.
Choice of medium.
Yeah, Janardhan, the question is, why did you choose iron as your medium?
Yeah, I told you before, no, introduction, I told you. Medium, according to my thought, actually, என்னோட ஐடியாவுக்கு என்ன மீடியம் அந்த டைம் வந்து எனக்கு கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இருக்குது, அந்த மீடியம் வந்து எனக்கு ஒர்க் பண்ண இந்த கான்செப்டுக்கு கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக ஒர்க் பண்ண முடியுமான்னு பார்ப்பேன். அது அப்புறம் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த மீடியம் வந்து அந்த ஆர்ட் ஒர்க்குக்கு ஒத்து போகிற மாதிரி இருந்ததுன்னா அது வந்து ஈஸியாக வந்து எனக்கு என்னோட டெக்னிக் வந்து அதை ஈஸியாக ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ண முடியும். அது நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணேன்னா அந்த மீடியம் வந்து ஒவ்வொரு ஆர்ட் ஒர்க்கும் நம்ம பண்ணும்போது ஒரு மீடியம் சூஸ் பண்ணும்போது எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்டலாக தான் பண்ணுவோம். அது பண்ணும்போது ஃபெயிலியர் ஆகலாம், ப்ளஸ் வந்து அது கரெக்டாக வரலாம். அது வந்து நம்ம சொல்ல முடியாது. நான் வந்து ரொம்ப நாளாக வந்து ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ண, நான் ஆல்ரெடி சொல்லியிருக்கேன், இந்த மெட்டீரியல் வந்து அவைலபிலிட்டிஸ் வந்து நான் இருக்கிற பிளேஸில் வந்து அந்த மெட்டீரியல் வந்து எனக்கு ஈஸியாக இருக்குது. அதுவும் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா அந்த மெட்டீரியல் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது 2 அட்வான்டேஜ் இருக்குது. அந்த மெட்டீரியல் வந்து ரொம்ப லைஃப் டைம் வந்து மற்ற மீடியமும் கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா இருக்கும். ப்ளஸ் வந்து ஏஸ்தட்டிக் வந்து அந்த மீடியத்தில் பண்ணும்போது எனக்கு ரொம்ப நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணும்போது அது ரொம்ப கம்ஃபர்டபுளாகவும் இருக்குது. எனக்கு வந்து பிடிச்ச மாதிரியும் அந்த மீடியம் இருக்கனால அதை யூஸ் பண்ணுறேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த லேயர்ஸ் வந்து நான் பண்ணியிருப்பேன். என்னோட ஒர்க் கான்செப்ட் வந்து பாடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஹியூமன் நெஸ்ட் சொல்லி பண்ணியிருப்பேன். அந்த பாடியில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய லேயர்ஸ் வந்து நம்ம ஹியூமன் பாடியில் இருக்கும். அந்த லேயர்ஸ் வந்து எப்படி அந்த ஒர்க் மூலயமா கொண்டு வரலாம் அப்படின்னு யோசிக்கும் போது அந்த மீடியம் வந்து ரொம்ப கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இருக்கும் போது அதை வந்து அதை மீடியம் வந்து சூஸ் பண்ணி ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணது தான் அந்த மீடியம். மெட்டீரியல் அயன் வந்து எனக்கு ரொம்ப அந்த ரெஸ்ட் ஃபீல் அதெல்லாம் வந்து பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். அதனால அது பர்டிகுலராக இந்த மீடியத்தில் தான் பண்ணணுன்ட்டு நான் எதுவுமே யோசிச்சு கிடையாது. எந்த மீடியம் வேணாலும் பண்ணுறதுக்கு வந்து எனக்கு கம்ஃபர்டபுள் இருந்தால் அது பண்ணுவேன். இனிஷியல் ஸ்டேஜில் அது மாதிரி இருந்தது. மீடியம் வந்து ஒரு ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுறது வந்து ரொம்ப டஃப்பாக இருக்கும். ஏன்னா இது எப்படி பண்ணலாம், அது வந்து பை ப்ராக்டிஸ் வந்து ஒவ்வொரு ஆர்ட் ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது குட்டியாக ஒரு சாம்பிள் பண்ணுவோம். ஆக்சுவலாக அதோட நம்ம ப்ராடக்டாக தான் எல்லாமே வந்து கேலரியில் வந்து ஷோ பண்ணும் போது வியூவர்ஸோ கிளைண்ட்டோ வந்து பார்ப்பாங்க. ஆனால் அதுக்கு முன்னாடி பிஹைண்ட் என்ன இருக்குன்ட்டு தெரியாது. ஆர்டிஸ்ட் வந்து என்னென்ன பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க, எப்படி அதை வந்து ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க, எப்படி டைரெக்டாக வந்து ஒரு ஆர்ட் ஒர்க்கை வந்து நம்ம நம்ம ஐடியாஸ் வந்து நல்லா யோசிப்போம், நல்லா நிறையெல்லாம் யோசிப்போம். எல்லா ஐடியாவும் வந்து அந்த நம்ம மீடியம் சூஸ் பண்ணி ஒர்க் பண்ண ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ரகிளாக இருக்கும் ஆர்டிஸ்ட்டுக்கு. அது வந்து பார்க்கும்போது அவங்க ஆர்டிஸ்ட் அவங்க என்ன மீடியம் ப்ராக்டிஸில் இருக்காங்களோ அந்த மீடியத்தில் வந்து அவங்க ஈஸியாக ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. அது மாதிரி தான் நானும் இந்த மீடியம் சூஸ் பண்ணேன். இனிஷியல் ஸ்டேஜில் வந்து நிறைய வந்து குட்டி குட்டி சாம்பிள் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிவிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் இந்த மீடியத்தில் வந்து பண்ணும்போது கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக அதே மீடியம் வந்து பாடி ஆஃப் ஒர்க் வந்து நிறைய ட்ரை பண்ணும்போது அந்த மீடியத்தில் என்னென்ன பண்ணலான்ட்டு லேட்டராக தான் நானே அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். ஆர்டிஸ்ட் எப்பவுமே ப்ராக்டிஸ் தான், எதுவுமே வந்து நம்ம ஃபுல்ஃபில் ஆனோமா டில் எண்டு வரைக்கும் நம்ம படிச்சுட்டு தான் இருக்கோம். அது மாதிரி எல்லாமே நம்ம கடைசி எண்டு வரைக்கும் நம்ம லேர்னிங்கில் தான் இருக்கோம். அது மாதிரி இந்த மீடியம் வந்து இப்போ அட் ப்ரெசண்ட்டாக வந்து இந்த மீடியம் வந்து எனக்கு கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இருக்கனால நான் அந்த மீடியம் சூஸ் பண்ணேன். மற்றபடி இந்த மீடியம் வந்து இதுதான் பண்ணுவேன்ட்டு ஃப்யூச்சரில் நான் சொல்ல முடியாது. ஆக்சுவலாக நான் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நீங்களே யோசிப்பீங்க, ஆக்சுவலாக நான் ஸ்கல்ப்டர் சொல்லுவாங்க, ஆனால் வந்து நான் ஸ்கல்ப்சர் வந்து நான் காலேஜ் ஆஃப் ஃபைன் ஆர்ட்டில் வந்து படிக்கல. காலேஜ் 4 இயர்ஸ் 6 இயர்ஸ் வந்து கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணுவோம். அந்த அகாடமிக் ஸ்டடி வந்து அதோட முடியாது. நம்ம வந்து அது காலேஜ் முடிச்ச கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிட்டோம், மற்ற ஸ்டடீஸ் மாதிரி நம்ம ஆர்ட் ஃபீல்டு அப்படி நான் இல்லைன்னு ஃபீல் பண்ணுறேன். ஆனால் வந்து எல்லா இதுவும் வந்து கடைசி வரைக்கும் படிச்சுட்டு தான் இருப்போம். ஆனால் இது வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த காலேஜ் 6 இயர்ஸ் முடித்த உடனே வந்து நம்ம எல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சிச்சு நம்ம ஆர்டிஸ்ட்டு அப்படின்னு நம்ம வெளியே வர முடியாது. ஆக்சுவலாக அது வந்து பை ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கும். அது மாதிரி இந்த மீடியத்தை வந்து பெயிண்டிங் முடிச்சுட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் வந்து கற்றுக்கிட்ட ஒரு விஷயம் தான் இந்த அயன் மீடியம். அது கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக வந்து பை ப்ராக்டிஸில் வந்து பண்ணது தான் அந்த மீடியம்.
Thank you, Janab. Thank you. So we have one more question. So who would like to take this question? So I will read out the question.
Sujit.
Yes.
Hello. சுஜித், ஆக்சுவலி இன்னொரு விஷயம் என்னன்னா, இப்போ நம்ம வந்து கேலரி ஸ்பேஸ்ல வந்து ஒரு ஷோ பண்றோம்ல.
ஆமா.
ஸோ கேலரி ஸ்பேஸ்ல நம்ம பண்ற ஷோ தாண்டி நீங்க வந்து இந்த பப்ளிக்கா நம்ம பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம்ல, இந்த விஷயம் வந்து நீங்க பேசிட்டு இருக்கும் போதே பக்கத்துல இருக்கவங்க வந்து இது என்ன ஒரு விஷயம் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஒரு நம்ம ஊர்லயே வந்து ஒரு டாக் ஓடிட்டு இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. இந்த ஒர்க்கை பத்தி என்ன பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஸோ இது பயங்கர சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கு, ரொம்ப ஹாப்பினஸாவும் இருக்கு. ஸோ ஒரு கேலரிஸ்லயே நம்ம ஷோ பண்ணிட்டு திடீர்னு இந்த ஒரு ஆன்லைன் ஷோ இது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சொல்லி ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியா ஃபீல் பண்றேன்.
Thank you. So the question is, as an artist and a creator, how do you finalize or arrive at a point where you are satisfied about the final output of your work? So is there anyone who wanted to answer this question? I think, hello?
Yeah, maybe I can answer it.
Okay, great.
For me, it's about the creative process. I think there is no conclusion about particular thought process or particular practice. It's just that there are individual references at certain point of time that we recognize that this was my thought and this was the output. But I think, having said that, I don't think there has to be a conclusive point where people think that this was what I wanted to do and this is what I got, and I'll move on from now on and probably not look back and see what I was doing. So I think it's a continuous process. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Arun, for that question. Thank you.
I just wanted to join that discussion to say that as artists, we're constantly setting our own framework and parameters, and it shifts as well as we make. So I think that journey from idea to process and material, all three are in dialogue constantly, and it's evident. And I think sometimes it's like Samir said, it can also be inconclusive, and that's what motivates us to keep going. So thank you.
Thank you, Vasudha.
I might add to that dialogue also. In art, 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. As that sort of reiterates what's been said. You might start with an idea, you don't know, and don't always want to know where it's going to end up. But in a introductory studio class, I would tell a student that at the point where they start to take away or make marks where they lose the work itself, such as in wood carving, you carve and carve and carve and you end up with nothing, well, that mistake is also a learning experience. At some point as a professional artist with a series of works, you get to an idea where you know when you are finished, you know, with a series, but it's always personal and individual.
Yeah. Thank you, Marcia. Probably I will also say a few things about that. So for me, I don't, it is basically about the concept which I do. So probably the repetition of the same work happens really very less for me with the concepts. So I think it is not about the physical satisfaction which I achieve in doing something, but it is about something, you know, like to say, let it go, and or emptying my hands to get something better or new. So yeah, let it go is always my kind of ideology when I do a work, when I create an work and finish an work. Thank you.
I love that as well. Sometimes if you're not sure if a work is done, or if I'm not sure if a work is done, I'll turn it around, or I'll leave it for, you know, maybe a few days, sometimes a few weeks. Either hide it, or sometimes I leave it sitting facing me in the studio or wherever I am, and it's like an itch that needs to be scratched sometimes, and you look at it and you'll either you'll finish it, but quite often it's something that just you think it needs maybe more, but when you actually do something to the work, it's usually just something really quite small, and that's sort of drawn to a conclusion, and then I'll put it away and not go back to it.
That's a good explanation. I think it was actually really good. Thank you, Lynn. So we have a few comments. Probably you can all read it for yourself. They are appreciating our shows and good.
Thank you, Ganapati and Bhuvna.
Yeah. Boom. I think should we wait for more questions, or should we end? Yes, no. Okay. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Jayshree. Sorry? I will read those messages so that the people who are in Facebook will not be able to see these messages. So I will read this message. So from Ganapati, he's saying it is an inspiring effort, feeling quite optimistic looking at this show. Good job pulling this together. Great work from all of you. And from Bhuvaneshwari, she says a very good show, a new possibility, people from different places, different ideas, different mediums, different languages, different culture joining together and coordinating. And putting up this show is something very new to experience. Congrats to the team. And Arun says, please continue shows like this. And Jayshree says, Wonderful to be part of an art show this way. And Anish says, thanks everyone for sharing your works and thought process. So I hope a lot of other friends and artists who are watching live on Facebook. So we will come to a closure now. If any other artist or Mr. Saju would like to say something, then probably welcoming. I welcome to say that.
Yeah, there is nothing much to add to it. It's a very, very interesting exercise. I mean, this time of crisis, and that's what, you know, this is very, because seeing most of them from different parts of the place, and at least 1 hour, like it went on like great. It's very positive thing, you know, a lot of positive energy I'm getting, you know, like, of course, sitting home, we do a lot of things, but this is something which makes me think, you know, in a different way, like fine tune myself, and it's very, very nice to meet you guys, and it's a great effort.
Thank you, Mr. Saju.
Yeah.
So I will finish with the word of thanks here. So first of all, I definitely need to thank Scaffold. I need to thank Shinod. I need to thank Mr. Saju and Kiran, Janarthanan, Samir. I'll not thank you guys. And Ms. Marcia, it is a great pleasure to have you here. I have hardly, sorry, Vijay, I forgot. I want to thank you also. So, Marcia, so it's a great pleasure to have you here. It's not like I just messaged you. Actually, I was supposed to visit you there, but I messaged you and you right away said yes without even asking any questions. So it's really great. And Tamara, I'm so happy that because we meet there at Lalit Kala Academy. We met there at Lalit Kala Academy, and then we had small bits and bits conversation. And then you went back to Sweden and you invited me for a show there. But unfortunately, I was traveling then. I couldn't send the works on right time. So that was a really great effort by you. You do a lot of exhibitions and you curate a lot of exhibitions there, and you're doing a great job. I know I have been hearing you from Facebook. You of course sent mails and everything. Thanks. And Lynn, I came to know about Lynn through Shinod, and amazing works, Lynn. It's good that I know you now. We will keep in touch. Thank you so much. And is there anyone else I missed? Kiran, yeah, I said. Samir, thank you, everyone. Yeah. So thank you. I'm going to stop the live on Facebook.
Sujit.
Yes.
And I think it may be the right time to mention that there will be conversation with individual artists, yes, as well as people can join later on and
Could you please go ahead with that?
Yeah. So there is a conversation which is going to take place, and the schedule will be noticed very shortly on Facebook and also on the website. There will be conversation between the artists, and they will be talking about their artwork and the exhibition also. So anybody can join, and then looking forward to hearing more inputs from the visitors as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that it's quite special, these artist conversations that are going to happen over the next few weeks, because it's artists talking to artists, and that's something that happens in the studio normally and is not shared with the public, whereas this is an opportunity to kind of visit an artist studio and listen to two artists speaking to each other as artists. So I think it'll be interesting for other artists as well as members of public to drop in on these conversations. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasudha, for reminding me about that. So these meetings happen on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. We will be live on our social media platforms. So thank you for joining us and making this beautiful exhibition a great event. Thanks all the audience who have watched us and have appreciated us. Thank you so much. See you soon with one more event or with more events. Thank you.
Let's unmute ourselves. A big round of applause for Sujit and the team. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Saju and everyone.
Thank you.
Anish, Deka, Arvind, Ganpati, Shanmugam, Preeta, Kumareshan and Alamu, Madhusri, Arun. Arun is my in-law. And yes, Jaysri Chalamuthu and yeah, Jaysri Chalamuthu. Yes. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope we managed to do well. So I hope we managed to do well, I guess. So I have been getting constant feedback from my wife, who was just opposite here. So we did well. We did a good job. Everyone spoke really well, and so don't forget to share the websites with everyone. Send through WhatsApp contact and ask them to write feedback. In the meantime, I forgot to mention about that, writing feedback in the website. I was trying to put your works when you people came to talk about your works. I shared it. I feel that I was successful in that. I don't know what the result output was. Okay, so yeah, so I managed to show your works when you were speaking about your works. So, but I did not navigated through the website and show the audience what to watch and how to navigate around. But fine. Okay, so now I think.
But it was good to have Saju with us to speak about all the artists. You know,
Yes.
it was something very smooth. Yeah. Thank you for joining in.
My pleasure.
Okay, so.
The website also published, you know?
Yeah, but website is already on Facebook.
Okay, Sujit, thank you.
Hey,
everyone.
Raja, really sorry. I don't know. Did I sent the message earlier, but okay, somehow I didn't notice you being here. So thank you so much for joining us, Raja.
I got in late, so sorry, but it was amazing.
Okay,
thanks for inviting me. All the best to everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So Raja is also our college mate. We all belong to the same batch.
It was interesting, Sujit, because it's been a long time since I met Raja, Anish. I'm sure that Raja must be remembering me, but Anish, I would like to.
Yes, I do, Samir.
Yeah, so it was interesting to have a conversation with all of you.
Hi, Anish. Anish is there?
Yeah,
Anish has muted his call.
Okay.
Should I?
Hey, hi.
Hi, how are you, man?
Good. Good to hear from you guys, and good to see you all. And also, you know, seeing your work and your thought process. So, thanks for joining us.
Anish, thank you for joining us.
Hope to see you guys after all this pandemic, situation, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, probably December. That's what the nearest time.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, thank you, Madhusri. Thank you. Okay, so shall we end?